Hi everyone, my name is Ana Martha Ayala and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. As a reminder, I always do every video in English and Spanish, and the degree theory is based on modern Western astrology using the Placidus house system. In today's video, I wanted to talk to Gemini, ascendant or Gemini sun for the planetary energies of 2025. I don't call this a horoscope because a horoscope for me is when you have a one-to-one visit with an astrologer. But I wanted to give you guys an overall idea of what you can expect, and I mean very general idea of the planets and how they are going to affect you. Now, depending on your rising sign, the degree of your rising sign, the houses may not fall exactly as I'm going to describe, so you have to check other videos, either Taurus or Cancer to get the house correct. So anyway, I wanted to share with you this worksheet that I did, which talks about all of the retrograde energy. And here we go. Since you are Gemini and you are ruled by Mercury, the most important retrograde for you is Mercury. So these are the dates. Mercury will retrograde March 15th in at 9 degrees of Aries, and then it'll go direct April 7th at 26 degrees of Pisces. Now, when I say that the planet is stationing at 9 degrees of Aries and stationing at 26 degrees of Pisces, this means that a planet is going direct. And for us, it appears that it stops or it stations, and then it goes retrograde. It goes backwards. In reality, the planet doesn't go backward, but it appears from Earth to look that way. So any planets that you have at these degrees where it stations, then you will get extra benefits or extra lessons. It depends on what planet it is and the aspects in your chart, and that's a more personalized, like I was saying, and that's kind of like the horoscope for you for the year, but I don't know what your natal chart looks like. So for you, the Mercury retrograde is super important because you are ruled by Mercury. Now, the second retrograde will be July 18th of 2025 at 15 degrees of Leo. So it's going to station at 15 degrees of Leo, and it will go direct August 11th at 4 degrees of Leo. So it will stay in the Leo sign. Mercury will retrograde November 9th at 6 degrees of Sagittarius, and it will go direct at 29th of November at 20th degree of Scorpio. Now, Venus is going to retrograde in 2025, and it didn't retrograde in 2024. So it will retrograde March 2nd of 2025 at 10 degrees of Aries. It'll go direct April 13th at 24 degrees of Pisces. Again, if you have any planets around 10 degrees of Aries or 24 degrees of Pisces, then Venus is going to give you extra opportunities or extra benefits in love and money. So if you have your natal Venus or you have your sun or something like that close to these degrees, or even Mars, it could be, a passionate new beginning in love or money, because Venus is the planet of love and money. Now, Mars will go retrograde December 6th of 2024 at 6 degrees of Leo, and it will go direct at February 24th at 17 degrees of Cancer. Again, look at your personal planets and how Mars is going to either trine, if you have planets in Libra or Aquarius, or square, or conjunct, okay? Jupiter. Now, Jupiter, Gemini for you, this is good. because Jupiter is in Gemini. It will go retrograde October 10th of 2024 at 21 degrees of Gemini, and then it will go direct February 24th of 2025 at 11 degrees of Gemini. So for those Geminis that have their ascendant, or otherwise known as rising sign, their sun, or any planet in Gemini, Jupiter is going to give you extra opportunities. In my monthly videos, I'll tell you the exact dates because it stays stationed for weeks, going when it goes back, when it starts to retrograde, and then when it goes forward, it also stations for a few weeks. All right, so Saturn. Saturn will turn retrograde July 13th of 2025 at 10 degrees of Aries, and it will go direct in November 28th of 2025 at 25 degrees of Pisces. Again, if anybody has any planets around these degrees, well, you're going to get extra lessons, or you might have extra difficulties because it's Saturn. As you all know, the benefics are Venus, the lesser benefic, and Jupiter, the greater benefic. Mars is the lesser malefic, and Saturn is the great malefic, the taskmaster, the one that teaches you lessons. Uranus will retrograde November 2nd of 2024 at 27 degrees of Taurus, and it will go direct January 30th at 2025 at 23 degrees of Taurus. This is where the demon star Algol at 26 degrees of Taurus is. So if you have any planets there, this is also a notable retrograde. Neptune. Neptune will retrograde July 4th of 2025 at 2 degrees of Aries, and it will go direct December 10th of 2025 at 29 degrees of Pisces. And lastly, Pluto will go retrograde May 4th of 2025 at 3 degrees of Aquarius, and it will go direct on October 14th, 2025 at 1 degrees of Aquarius. Now for you, Pluto is going to be trining your planets in Gemini because it's in Aquarius, and Pluto's there to stay in Aquarius for the next 20 years. So see what aspects Pluto is going to make to your natal chart. Okay, so I just wanted to cover that with you so you get a general idea of the things that, of the planetary energy, and you can check back with the monthly updates that I do. All right, so for Gemini and Gemini rising or Gemini sun, for you guys, it's difficult to be alone. As a Gemini rising, you're curious about everything. You're a jack of all trades, a master of none, because your curiosity is amazing. You're extremely intelligent. You're fast thinking. You also speak fast, but you don't go deep into a subject. You want to know a little bit about everything because that's curiosity. You excel in communications. No one can write better than a Gemini. The presentations, the speaking engagements, a lot of the presidents have a lot of planets or have degrees of Gemini in their charts. So you have to be a very good speaker. Get yourself a Gemini. You want everything, if you want something written very well, hire a Gemini. If you want something spoken, like speeches or editing for a book, Gemini. You're great working with your hands as well because Gemini rules your fingers, your hands, your arms, your shoulders. It also rules your lungs. But you guys are great with doing crafts, with working with tools, massage. Very nice. Simply amazing. So let's discuss what 2025 is going to bring your way. Neptune is going into your 11th house because Neptune will be going into Aries. So new friends, associates, your social circle is going to grow. It's going to change. The people coming in are more spiritual, artistic, creative, but they can also, Neptune has two sides, right? Because it's the ruler of Pisces. So these people could, like I said, can be spiritual, artistic, creative, but they can also be sick physically and mentally, or they can be addicted to drugs, legal or illegal. And there could also be a criminal perspective. They could be deceptive as well. But let's hope, that you only meet the positive side of Neptune and not the negative side of Neptune. The friends that you have currently, some friendships can be dissolved because Neptune, everything it touches, it dissolves. So they can move away, or leave the neighborhood or leave the job where you're at. Uh, so, there are changes in the 11th house. Your goals, your dreams can be very dreamy because Neptune also rules dreams. So, but Neptune also rules confusion. So with your dreams, maybe try to keep a dream journal, and maybe you'll find out later on what it means. Also, keep your goals a little bit realistic. Thank God that Saturn is there to kind of ground you for a little bit. But Neptune is going to be in your 11th house for the next 14 years. And Saturn's only going to be in the 11th house for 2.5 years. So you see what I mean? You gotta keep, you know, you gotta keep yourself grounded. So Saturn's going to give you a reality check. However, any friends that come into your space, make sure that somebody else that you trust, their opinion, their advice, um, gives you a thumbs up or a thumbs down because you're not going to see these people clearly because Neptune fogs everything. All right. So Saturn is also going to be entering into your 11th house, and Saturn is the taskmaster, the teacher, and it is in Aries, but thankfully it's in its fall position because Saturn is exalted in Libra. So the energy of Saturn in Aries is not very strong. So Saturn is going to define your friendships, your goals, your dreams. Um, any any house that Saturn transits, it's like a brand new broom. It sweeps out stuff that you don't need so that new things can come in that will help you. So maybe you've outgrown some of your friends or associates. Or maybe they're not helping you. They're the type of people that just take, 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 but don't give back. You may also have an older person come into your life who becomes a mentor and who becomes a very good friend of you. Uranus is in your first house. Uranus will enter Gemini. So get ready, Gemini. You will be unrecognizable over the next 7 years. Now, Uranus is going to change your appearance, your physical body, your lifestyle, your attitude in life. You will crave freedom. And you have, if you are married, well, let's say your life can dramatically change, right? Because things with Uranus happen all of a sudden. So if you're single, you can get married. If you're married, you can get divorced. Because it's opposing your seventh house for both of these possibilities. Uranus speeds up a bit. So if it makes aspect to your natal Mercury, careful with car accidents. That's the only, like if you, especially if Uranus and Gemini squares your Mercury, you need to be careful. A remedy for this, you could put a little airplane in your car. Mind you, this does not replace driving safely or driving at a lesser speed because Uranus speeds up everything. So you might be speeding, and that's not good. So, as I said, Uranus, things happen suddenly, out of the blue, unexpectedly. So Uranus is unpredictable. So keep that in mind. But I think I gave you, just like a general overview of the things that can happen and will happen. So that little airplane in your car, put it on your visor or something like that. If again, there's a square, an opposition to your Mercury, or even to Mars as well. Now, Jupiter in your second house, boy, this is amazing. Okay. So Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, and Jupiter is going into Cancer. So see, this is why it's important for you guys to know your essential dignity table, because you should know who the rulers are, when a planet is exalted, when it's in detriment, when it's in fall, etc. It helps. So Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So in 2025, there will be a lot of opportunities for you to make more money. But you need to be careful also about spending too much money because Jupiter is in your second house. So while you may have an opportunity to get a second job, or maybe you get a raise, and it gives you more money, you could also be spending more. Venus will go into Cancer from August 1st through August 25th, and then August 10th through August 16th. So see what happens during this time. All right. So within 2 degrees, 4 degrees of Jupiter, this would be on August 10th, it will be within 2 degrees of Jupiter. And then on August 16th, it will be within 4 degrees of Jupiter. So specifically that week, August 10th to August 16th, if you're going to apply for another job, if you're going to ask your boss for a raise, that's the week to do it. Also, if you want to, buy a lottery ticket, because when Venus conjuncts Jupiter, it brings luck. So you just might, I'm not saying you're going to be a millionaire. I'm just saying, unless you have aspects to Pluto in your natal chart, right? Jupiter, Pluto is a millionaires or billionaires conjunction, or aspect, I should say. But, you might win $500 or $100 or something like that. One lottery ticket, that's all it takes. Um, Remember that Venus and Jupiter are the two benefics of the zodiac. So again, this is a great time to ask for a raise, or try to get a second job. All right, so lunar nodes are shifting, and they are going into, because they're shifting from Aries and Libra to Pisces and Virgo. So this is going to shift into your 10th and 4th house axis. So this is the parental axis, and it's also the career axis. So the nodes may bring changes in your career and family life. You might get a new job, you might get promoted. 10th house is also your status in society. So you might get married or have a baby, because if you're single and you get married, your status changes. If you're married and you have a baby, then your status also changes because now you're a parent. So, when you have full moon lunar eclipses, because this is where the eclipses are going to fall, something will end. All right. So you may lose a job, or your boss is eclipsed, the person leaves, or retires. They can die too, but hopefully not. But something is removed from that 10th houses or the. So this also means that your parents, if they are old and sickly, they can also be removed from your life, unfortunately. So make sure that you keep in touch with them. So new moon solar eclipses. This is a new opportunity, usually shows up. Okay. So the 4th house talks about your parents, your home, the physical building, the physical space, the house structure. With eclipses, someone can pass, like your mom or dad, or your grandparents. Again, anybody that's like old and sick. The eclipse can just take it away. Or it can also trigger a move from one location to another. You may also buy a property, and that's why you're moving. So this, the eclipses aren't always bad, but most of the time they don't bring good news unless it's a new moon solar eclipse, which is brings an opportunity to you. All right, so lastly, Pluto is in your ninth house, or will, because it's in Aquarius there for the next 20 years. So this deals with transformation in your religious beliefs, in the philosophy in your life, in university studies. Do you want to go back to school? Do you want to drop out of school? Do you want to change your major or study something else? You can start studying religion, occult studies, because Pluto, astrology, tarot, numerology, etc., right? All these taboo things, right? Um, so ninth house also rules second marriages in the degree theory. So if this is your case, this person may step into your life. Actually, the ninth house, to have Pluto there for the next 20 years, it's one of the best places to actually have a Pluto transit. So Gemini, I wish you the best for 2025. If you have found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and send it to somebody else that might enjoy finding out what 2025, what the planetary energies are. If you want a natal chart reading with me, please send me an email to amaastrology@aol.com. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.